Hi everyone, it's me, Mrs. Louderback, and I'm going to walk you through your Writing to Sri Lanka report part 2. So the very beginning is an introduction to you engineer interns from our project director, Hannah Wong. It says, in order to understand how plate motion causes tsunamis, the people of Sri Lanka need to have a basic understanding of the different plate boundaries that exist on Earth's outer layer. The World Ocean Administration would like you to provide a written explanation about the types of boundaries that are found in the Indian Ocean region. You need to provide detailed information that is easy to interpret. So our Chapter 2 question is, what causes earthquakes and other geologic activities? We're going to state our claim about what causes earthquakes and geologic activities. We're going to use evidence from our observations, labs, and simulations. We're going to incorporate information from our plate motion notebook, include all 4 key concepts, provide a concluding statement reviewing plate boundaries and plate motion, and then make sure we use the vocabulary below and highlight them. So that would be plate boundary, mid-ocean ridge, divergent, trench, convergent, earthquake, transform, and tsunami today. All right. Okay, so a couple things. I'm going to have out in front of me today, I'm going to have obviously the writing piece here, but I'm also going to make sure I have my notebook available. So here's my notebook. And then in front of me, I'm going to make sure that I have my tectonic plate doodle notes and my plate boundary doodle notes as well. I know that some of you may need the extra notes in front of you, especially if you've been kind of struggling with keeping up on the plate interactive notebooks. All right. So the doodle notes is a good secondary source to go back to. Okay. So here, our Chapter 2 question, what causes earthquakes and other geologic activities? And then we have key concept 5, which, all of this is now given to you, is that at a divergent boundary, rock rises from the mantle and hardens, adding rocks to the edge of both plates, and it should be mantle with L-E. There we go. At convergent boundaries, one plate moves under the other plate and sinks into the mantle, destroying the rock. Okay. I may actually change that to recycling the rock. I don't like the term destroying because it just melts into molten rock. Key concept 7, at transform boundaries, one plate slides past another, rock is not created or destroyed. And then key concept 8, movement of the Earth's plates are caused by convection currents in the mantle. So we're going to make sure we incorporate all 4 of these key concepts. These are things that we have mastered and learned in this Chapter 2 here. Okay, so let's go to our writing piece, and we will write our final paragraph here, but we're going to work on the writing frame down below. So we're going to start with the claim is retyping the Chapter 2 question into a statement. So it's as simple as earthquakes, and I'm going to put geohazards, other geohazards. Because that's what we ended up with the last paragraph on paragraph 1, are caused by plate motion at the plate boundaries. All right, and there is our first, there's our first little writing piece, okay? So that's our claim. Next, we need to define plate boundaries, okay? So plate boundaries. Right. And if you remember to find definitions, you go to the glossary of your plate notebook, so a place where 2 plates meet, or you can open up Quizlet and find that as well. Quizlet is another good feature when you go to Classroom. The Quizlet is available for you. I'll just pick 3rd hour in the resource section. So you just need to go to the Quizlet in your resource section, and it'll take you there. Okay. All right, so I'm going to leave it with the ellipse here, the 3 little dots, because I want you to fill that out on your own. Okay, which plate boundaries are found in the Indian Ocean region? Okay, slide 22. So if I go to slide 22 on my plate motion, oh, I actually need to change that because that's actually for the SWAT team. So I will change that for you guys. It should be slide 26, but we've also have that down saved. It should be bookmarked right along here. There it is. So I bookmarked mine as well. So what type of boundaries do we have? Looks like we have all of them. We have convergent in the northern part of India, as well as the east coast of the Indian Ocean. And then we've got 2 transform boundaries, one in the northwestern corner of India, one directly south of Sri Lanka, and then we have a divergent boundary in the southwest corner there. Okay, so on my writing here, and I'm going to change that actually to slide 26. On my writing here, we're going to write down that the Indian Ocean region has all 3 plate boundaries: convergent, divergent, and transform. All right. Then, okay, the next 3, 1, 2, 3, the next 3 little pieces here are defining each of those boundaries, defining divergent, what it is, the landforms found, same with convergent and transform. So you're going to use slide 18 or 23. You can also use, at this point, your plate boundary doodle notes if you don't have it written down, okay? So that's a secondary source you can go to if you need the extra assistance, okay? So for instance, right, slide 18, if I go to my plate motion slide 18 was this chart that you were supposed to fill out, okay, from the article here in the link. So you want to make sure that you go to divergent and you discuss the motion that's taking place and how it's interacting with the mantle. And you also need to tell the landforms found, okay, which is a mid-ocean ridge. And then are there earthquakes? Yes. Are there earthquakes strong enough to cause tsunamis? Not quite, okay? If you remember, it's the convergent boundary that will cause the earthquakes to cause tsunamis, all right? So here, all right, I'm just going to practice one with you, okay? And then it's going to have you do convergent and transform on your own, okay? So key concept 5, what is a plate boundary? And we want to add key concept 5. So I can go here. For now, I'm just going to go to my key concept 5, make sure I place that in. It's important to have all key concepts in, okay? And it also, I'm going to make sure that it's the same text formatting as the sentence above. So at divergent boundaries, rock rise from the mantle and hardens, adding rock to the edges of both plates. Good. I might want to talk about the direction of plate boundaries. So that the plates are at this type of plate boundary, the plates are moving, right? And we want to think about the direction they're moving. So if I go back to slide 18, right, what's happening here, they're moving, and this side, it would be away from each other, okay? So we want to make sure we add that here, moving away from each other, okay? So if you remember, my little phrase is divergent divide, okay? So they're moving away from each other. Then I want to add another sentence in this little box here that's going to talk about the landforms, okay? So landforms often found near a divergent boundary include A, and then I can go back to this slide 18, but if you also remember, I suggested slide 23. All right, so the landform found a mid-ocean ridge. Okay, mid-ocean ridge. So mid-ocean ridge. So that would be the example for what I'm looking in each of these boxes. Okay, so you're going to do the same thing for convergent plate and the transform boundary. All right, so the convergent plate boundary and the transform plate boundary. Okay, now the one down here, what causes plate motion, slide 23. I'm going to go to slide 23. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to redo these numbers. All right, it's not slide 23, it's slide 19. Let me go ahead and make these changes now. It'll definitely come up in the video, and I'm so sorry for this little hiccup here that's happening, but Okay, good. I made the other change. All right. Well, that's life. You can roll with it, right? You can just roll with it. So what causes plate motion? If I look here, it's the convection current that's causing plate motion. The magma that's rising and falling within the mantle. Okay, that is the key thing here. Okay, that's what's causing these plates to move. So, and it's the convection current itself that's driving this motion. So you can use the convection current here. You can also use your plate tectonic doodle notes. Okay, these little doodle notes. There's a whole bunch of information right here about convection currents if you did not do your little slide here. But we want to write that it's plate motion is affected by the convection currents in the mantle. So these three plate boundaries are moving because of the convection currents in the mantle. All right. What geologic activity happens at each plate boundary? Okay. So that again is reviewing slide 18. Okay. So we're looking at earthquakes and volcanic activity. And what we'll find is earthquakes happen at each of those locations. That's what you should see here. It's also should have been, we've discussed it often in class and written about it and read about it. So, so here again, slide 18, it would be earthquakes occur. Yep, occur at all three plate boundary locations. Okay. And then which plate boundary is likely to cause a tsunami? All right. So again, that should be found on slide 18. It's also one that we've talked about with the foldable. And in addition, when we talked a little bit about the magnitude and the plate boundaries, but it is the convergent boundary. Convergent boundaries are the locations most likely to create an earthquake strong enough to cause a tsunami. And if you remember, that's because of the subduction zone found at this location. Okay. So that's one of the things that when we look at our map here, all right, yes, there are multiple convergent boundaries. We have the one up in northern India. That's two continental plates that makes a mountain, okay? What we want to pay close attention to is this boundary right along the edge here. That's a trench. And at a trench, we have what's known as a subduction zone, right? Which you kind of should recall from the foldable, okay? It's where one plate gets shoved back into the mantle. When that happens, okay, it takes a lot of pressure and a lot of energy to push something that heavy as a plate, all right, the crust of the earth, back into the mantle. And when that happens, you get a shift in the sea floor that causes a bunch of water to be displaced. So this is something you should have read about in your tsunami rare but dangerous, your ed puzzle on tsunamis 101. We've also talked about it in class. So it's the convergent boundary here that will be where earthquakes strong enough, okay, we're talking like a 7 magnitude or higher, to cause a tsunami, which is our ultimate goal, is to explain to the people of Sri Lanka these geologic events happening in their area and how to prevent a tsunami. Okay, all right, the last one is a concluding statement, okay? And so it's as simple as in conclusion, and then you just kind of restate the claim. Geohazards are caused by plate motion at the plate boundaries. Right? Short, sweet, and simple. Okay. Once you've done that, okay, what you're going to be doing is you do the same copy paste into your paragraph, copy and paste your sentences into the paragraph. I'm just going to add a few here just to kind of reinstill a little bit the importance of this. I've had so many kids who aren't doing this, and then they have to go back through. I also want to remind you to please copy and paste it in the box above that says paragraph. I had a lot of kids who were putting it down at the very bottom, all right? And if I'm honest, sometimes teachers are like students. We're lazy. We don't want to take the effort to scroll all the way down to the bottom. So make sure your paragraph is placed in the actual location that's designated for paragraph. Okay. Once you add your paragraph in, you need to proofread, edit, make sure everything, if there's a suggestion, if there's something you need to write that is not correct, fix it. Okay. And then notice I'm not done. You always want to go back through here. Okay. Do I have my claim? Yes. Did I have evidence? Yes. Did I incorporate information from my notebook? Yes. All 4 key concepts? Yes. Concluding statement? Yes. Vocab? Oh, I need to go back through and do my vocab. This is like the easiest 2 points students can ever earn on their paragraph, okay? And time again, kids don't do it, and I have to remind them, hey, don't forget to do your paragraph, okay? That's kind of important with the highlighting of the vocab, because that's 2 easy points in that paragraph that you can do, all right? So just something simple, all right? When it's done, perfect, polished, good to go, turn it in, okay? And this will be graded, as always, as an assessment grade because it's you taking all of your cumulative knowledge and writing it down in an explanation to the people of Sri Lanka. All right, other than that, I hope you're doing well, and I can't wait to see you again. Please, please, please reach out and email me if you have any other questions or concerns. Hopefully I fixed all the typing issues here that have taken place with the incorrect slide numbers. What it is we share these informations amongst the 4 science teachers, and so our slide numbers are off a little depending on what we add. So that's kind of why. So if you have any questions or concerns or you're not sure where to find something, please reach out and let me know. All right, bye.